This is the first 15 minutes of every Zoom reunion anyway. So
Exactly.
it's really
Definitely.
what people expect.
Good. Yeah, I mean, on Facebook, I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Yeah, let's just try to do the YouTube for starters. And
So then, do you want me to put
Hey, Robin.
Hi, guys.
Do we want to direct everybody to YouTube?
Robin, we all need haircuts.
Right? Yeah, no, I feel ya.
What we should do, Jen, is
Here we
we're
go.
getting-
It's
we're
live.
on the page now.
We're
Hold
live on
Yeah, I mean,
YouTube.
on Facebook, I don't know if I'm supposed to. All right, let me mute this.
okay, because we're live on YouTube. For starters. And
Great. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody on YouTube. Is that
Is
what
it
we're supposed to
working?
do?
All right,
It
Kristen,
is.
you need to share your YouTube onto the Facebook link now.
you got it. No problem.
All right, and
Will
hopefully you don't hear double
you.
talk.
Okay.
Ah, look at all my babies.
Hey, Robin.
Good. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mayor. Hi, George.
Hey.
Oh, my God. Hi, Lori.
Whatever happened to Shia LaBeouf?
It kind of disappeared.
You know what?
Get that
I
out the
almost
way
Went
right
to
away.
the moon.
I was gonna set up a separate camera with a photo of him.
Went to
Oh,
the
that'd
moon
be
in
great.
1969. All right.
All right, we almost got this. I think once Christy's done posting that, we'll jump into this thing.
Since
Hold
you're
on,
the
guys.
host of that
We're-
event, though, Nick, do you want me to send you that?
Say what?
Let me,
Grace.
let me
Hey,
send you
David.
that.
Hello.
Hey.
David.
Awesome.
So Christy, you see us live on YouTube? Because I don't. I'm
There's
on the
Mark.
page refreshing.
Mark Warren.
Is that it?
Mine
hey,
still says
Mark.
waiting.
What's up? Hey, everybody. What's
That's
going
awesome.
on?
I muted it a
Oh.
second ago, and then it was
Wow,
fine.
this is crazy.
Like a
This is so
production meeting.
awesome.
That is odd.
Hey, Matt.
Nick, you put this
No,
together?
wait,
buddy?
there we are.
That is-
I'm on
wow.
YouTube and I see it.
Yeah, it's there.
Go, hey,
Okay.
Christy,
So
Okay.
should we all go over there?
AJ, Tom, George,
Hey, Mark.
Lauren, Stephen, Dennis.
Hey.
So do we go over or do we just stay where we are and it goes over to YouTube?
It is
Yeah.
already going
No,
to
you
YouTube
guys,
right now.
everyone just stay where you are.
Oh, okay.
You guys, I don't think people are seeing you, Christy, because I don't see you and I'm asking, and I just asked in the chat on YouTube and they all say, no, we're waiting, we don't see them.
They're saying, can you set it to gallery view?
So Nick, that would be your top right-hand corner. You want to
Okay.
set to gallery. But
Top
most
right-
people can't see. So I don't
top right-hand
understand.
corner,
Top hand
gallery
right.
view. Boom.
That it?
You know what? Someone called me a boomer earlier because I didn't know how to work this stuff. They clearly
Uh-oh.
don't know what a boomer is.
Oh.
Guilty.
Are you a millennial? Nick, did you make it?
No.
Millennial?
I don't know. I'm
No,
I'm
you see,
probably
you're
still
like-
in college.
you're
right? So what does
he's
it make me?
You're Generation
Gen
X. Gen
Gen
X.
Yeah, I'm
Gen
Gen
X.
X. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer, 1964. Then
Yeah.
I'm one of the
Yeah,
last.
64
ones.
also, boomer. Yeah.
I'm a boomer.
Millennial. Millennial.
All
I'm
right.
gonna be 30 next year.
Oh, boy.
wow.
Birthday.
Nick, are you just sharing these this link now that I sent you through Messenger on Facebook? So that you can post it to the Facebook.
I just took the link and posted it to the event page instead of
Got
watching it live here. So hopefully if they click that, it'll take us. Yeah, it should take us there.
Okay, great.
So
So here we are. We're here.
Okay. Well, I say we just jump into it, guys. We did the best we can.
Does
But
Mark-
yeah, we have a
Mark,
turnout
you
of
have your
people.
videos on, right? Does
You
Mark-
guys,
Oh,
20
okay.
years since this whole show started, since it first premiered on Disney Channel on Saturday, June 17th, 2000. And I want to give a kudos to Christy for reaching out and saying, hey, do you realize that our 20-year anniversary is coming up? Can you guys believe that?
Wow.
So,
And some of us have the gray hair to prove it.
yeah. Well, I have a little here, a lot less here. But I thought it was an appropriate time for us to just connect up with everybody, and have some, share some really great memories. I know the one thing that I've gotten over the years about this show is that it really happened. It aired or let me go back. It was a show that people got familiar with at a very special time in their life when life was good, life was simple, and it was just like it has such a dear place in a lot of people's hearts. And so I know me for one, I'm very grateful to be a part of a show that is it brings back so many positive experiences or positive memories for people. So I think they're all grateful to see us together here. And it's important for them to see not just the cast, but everyone else who was behind the scenes and played an important role in the show. And in a second here, I want everyone to introduce who they are and what their role was in the show. So, Christy, anything?
Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you all for coming. This is so crazy. I know that Nick has always sort of been the coordinator for these amazing reunions that we've had over the years, and I'm super grateful. He's like seriously like a big brother for real. And we've worked together and we've stayed in touch. So it's been so great. We had a reunion. When was that, guys? We had like a 10-year reunion.
And then,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
10
and a 15. Yeah.
15.
Yeah, at Formosa Cafe, I think was the last one.
right.
About 5 years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, David Grace.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrice, everybody. This is so cool.
Well, hey, Christy, why don't we start off? You want to introduce, have everyone introduce themselves and what?
Oh, Dearborn. We got 2 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Patrice.
So if you're just
Got a
joining,
lot of
welcome to the 20th year reunion of Even Stevens. We all feel very old, but we look fabulous. Present and speaking and accounting for is Nick Spano. He
What
plays
up, everybody?
Donnie Stevens.
Yeah, Donnie Stevens. Nothing else to say except for I shared something great with Matt last night. When I first started on the show, there's 2 really great memories. One has to do with David Grace, and the other one has to do with Matt. As all actors do, we always want to. We want a bigger role. We want a bigger part. We want a bigger say in the show. And I wrote this meditation on Donnie that I gave to Matt, which was an attempt to convince him that Donnie deserved a bigger place in the show. And Matt was so gracious and helpful in really kind of teaching me about storytelling. And I walked away from that feeling very grateful just to even to have a part on this show.
You mean when I was going to read it and go, no? You're out of here, Nick. No, it was not to jump in, but it was a very thoughtful thing. It wasn't as desperate as Nick's making it sound. It didn't seem like a plea to get more screen time or anything like that, which we've all on our side had. But anyway, go Christy. Sorry about that.
No. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Matt Dearborn. He is the creator of Even Stevens, which was originally called Spivey's Kid Brother.
Yeah.
Matt Dearborn is an amazing human being and also a talented dude who's done a lot of different things, including 90210 prior to Even Stevens, right? And everything else that he's done. You've worked a lot with Disney in coming years, right? In the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's me. You got it.
Christy, you studied for this. This is amazing.
Matt,
Just
what
like
was
Ren.
the name of that show you did with Tom on the Disney?
Oh, Zeke and Luther.
Zeke and Luther. Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Skateboarders. Yeah, that was fun as well. But let's not that this is somebody else's show, but there's so many people we got to intro.
No, but you're the next person. Let's hear about you.
You got it. Christy said it all. I'm super excited to be here. I had this weird dream. There was a global pandemic and I moved back in with my parents. And then I realized that wasn't a dream. I actually been pulling a full-on Kato Kalin thing in the back of my parents' house. And it's just the weirdest, most wonderful thing that's ever happened. But It's good to see Beansy. It's good to see
Yeah.
Beansy. And I think we got to go there because that's really what's on everybody's mind.
Beans.
It is so amazing to see my amazing Stevens family as well as Matt, Jen, in casting everybody here. It is so amazing to see all of you guys, my beautiful Stevens family that I've never left. I've always been hiding in the closet secretly these past 20 years, waiting for our revival. Eat it, Lizzie, eat it!
surviving on bacon and being.
Hey, hold on a second. Before we go to the next person, this is what I have for you, Steven. Do you remember this?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
You gave this to everybody on the cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rap party. That was the 3rd season rap party gift.
Yep.
I got for everybody.
Really
There
sweet.
you go, buddy.
Oh,
Still have
man.
it in my drawer.
What does it say, Nick?
Big
Nick,
love,
what does it
guys.
say?
Big love.
Oh,
Can you read it?
I can't read yet. It says, Nick, castmates once, friends forever. Love, Steven, aka Beans.
What a guy.
sweetie.
Thoughtful, Steven.
Steven, right there, buddy, right there.
Big love.
Love you're getting
Big
on
love for all ya.
YouTube right now. Even the love you're getting on YouTube. They
Hey,
said
Beans,
the
why don't you pass it to the next person? This works out well, Christy, I think.
okay.
Just pass
So
it.
we've got Matt, we've got Steven, we've got Nick. Who's next up? But AJ Twitty Troth.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Sorry, guys, I was muted. I unmuted myself. So I'm the AJ Twitty Trouth, I guess. That's my my title for this thing. Are we sharing Matt Dearborn stories as part of our intro? Is that my I've told Matt and I've talked about this a lot, but I'll share it with you guys. My favorite Matt memory from, there's many, but of being on the show is we had just finished the Chocapalooza episode, which was one of my personal favorites. I think it was directed by Savage Steve Holland. And Shia and I did this scene where it was just complete pandemonium with chocolate in the house and all of this crazy stuff going on. And I totally lost my mind. I went absolutely bananas. And Matt, after we shoot the episode, takes me into the writer's conference room and sits me down. And he says, I want to give you a little piece of advice, a little insight here. Like he's going to drop this really, really profound knowledge on me. And he says, you can't have two idiots in a scene. And Lewis in this show is the idiot. And I was crushed. I was totally crushed. All I wanted was to be the idiot. I wanted to be the idiot so bad. And then years later, I don't know, maybe this was last year, Matt, he confided in me that, you know what, AJ, I think you were right. I think maybe Twitty was the idiot all along.
Took a long time for me to figure that out.
Okay, so that was AJ Twitty Troth. Next up in my square boxes of here on this glamorous Zoom reunion is George Anthony Bell, Principal Wexler himself. He's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's so good to see everybody. Love and miss you all.
Yeah.
Hey, and I need a job, okay?
Don't we all, man?
I'm a Sophie now. That's a senior on a fixed income.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Anyway, but Even Stevens is one of my most fondest memories. It was a great experience. Loved working there, every minute of it. It was a great job to be like a big kid and act so stupid and silly. And it was just a fun experience all the way around. So love and miss you all.
You too, George.
We have 1,400 people watching us right now.
Oh my God,
Wow.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Even Stevens 20th reunion, Zoom reunion.
Matt fixes his hair. All right, next up, we have Tom Virtue, Daddy Tom Virtue.
Yeah.
How are you all? Good to see you all. And yeah, Even Stevens, if since you guys are sharing this stuff, it's almost a day doesn't go by if I don't go into a Starbucks where some kid who's around 30 years old, they go into the oh my God. And And at the beginning, I didn't know how to take that when people were like, "Oh," and I'd go, "Yeah, it was a fun show." But they go, "No, you don't understand. That was my youth." You know, people will really get sentimental about it because it's what they grew up on. And it's interesting now. My son, who's actually Shia's age when he started the show, isn't really watching Disney Channel. You know, they have all these other outlets now, but back in the day, there was only Nickelodeon and Disney for kids that age.
Yeah.
So everybody saw us, and we are embedded in their, you know, in their youth. And you know, what a great gig it was, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the best thing best experience I ever had was doing that show for 3 years.
Actually, Tom, can I give you props, by the way, on you were in Get Out, right? Did you have a role on Get Out? Was that it?
Get Out.
No, Green Book.
Green Book.
Yeah, Green Book.
Green Book.
Green Book,
So-
Get Out of the South.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's right. Green Book. Man, it was great to see you on that, man.
Played a very amiable racist.
Yeah.
I tried to play him as polite as I'm just following the rules.
Yeah. It was a good role, man. You did well.
That was
So
fun.
next we have Lauren Fry.
Yay!
AKA
Hi, guys.
Ruby.
Thanks for that intro. That was lively. I dig it. It's so good to see you guys. I wish it was in person. I want to hug you.
They can't. No.
I know. We couldn't even do that then.
Feedback.
No, this is really great. I'm just happy to be here. And it's like, I know I've kept in touch with some of you, and especially on Facebook and whatnot, but it's good to see all your faces.
Likewise.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can you rank them in order?
I'm trying to, yeah, she was right. Our moderator was right. It's hard to catch everybody.
Well, no, hey,
Okay.
just let the person speaking throw it to the next.
Yeah.
Who
Next
hasn't
we
spoken.
have, oh yeah, the person.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, let Lauren just throw it to the next person.
We'll call it tag.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Robin,
Hi.
you're up.
Hi, all. God, it's so great to see everyone. It really, really is. It's just
What up,
amazing.
Robin?
Everybody looks
Hey,
fantastic.
Robin,
Hey,
you should tell the audience what you did on the show.
Yeah.
I actually was the hairstylist. I created all that crazy crap on there.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was blessed to work with Patrice. We roll over to Patrice, who was makeup.
Mhm.
Trace, your turn.
Patrice, you're muted, honey.
So I'll just say this while she
There you
unmutes.
go. No.
Oh my gosh, Karen
There
too!
she is.
Okay, so guys, we have just about every, almost every department represented here in this reunion. We have makeup, we have casting, we have executive producers, we have the writers, we have casting, we have wardrobe, and we have makeup and hair and all that. So this is really cool.
It's
Yeah.
the full creation of.
It is.
It
is.
absolutely is.
So,
Patrice, your turn, love.
oh, okay. Well, I did makeup on the show with Karen. I was the key, and I did Lauren's makeup, and I did Nick's.
Yeah. Who had the best skin? Who had the best skin?
Patrice,
Well,
you showed me how to be a girl.
Yes, I did.
You showed me how to do makeup, and I'm forever
Oh.
grateful to you.
I'll never forget, Patrice. Patrice, you told me about shaving my thighs.
I don't remember that at all.
I thought I taught you that.
Moving on to the next square. Go ahead.
Yes.
You know, our trailer, it wouldn't be surprising.
By the way, Patrice, you made a deal with the devil because you don't look a day older.
Seriously.
Oh, yes, I do. I didn't put any makeup on today because I'm thinking this is COVID look right here. I'm not trying to do anything,
I'm with you, babe.
you know.
Yeah,
So it's
either.
like, whatever, what you see is what you get right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
But
look
thank you.
lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Patrice, who do you want to throw it to?
I don't see anybody on here. Let me see. Throw it to whoever. It doesn't matter. I'll be happy to see
Mark.
anybody.
Mark,
Mark Warren.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up,
Mark.
everybody?
Hey, Mark.
I see AJ can grow a beard now. That's pretty cool.
I think, thanks, Mark. I think
I got
made
the
it
hair.
on
I got
back
the
then.
COVID hair also.
Yeah.
This is great, Nick. Thanks for putting this together. This is amazing. It's so great to see everybody. The greatest experience, greatest show I've ever worked on.
So it's actually, for some reason, we need to do a gallery view to our moderator, Jen. It's stuck on Patrice, is what people are
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, just move your lips.
Is that
as
a
I'm-
bad
That's
thing?
bad.
So that COVID
Is it
look
though?
is getting all the comments.
But
Meredith, you look amazing. Let me just say that right now.
Look, she's.
So, hey, back to Mark there.
oh, okay. Back to me. So also, Dennis and I just did a great podcast. I recommend it to everybody. It's called Even Stevens Ranked, and I know Matt did it, and Tom did it, and Jim Wise did it also. And there are so many fans out there obsessed with every detail of this show and the joy that it brought them. And I was really proud to be a part of it, and it is just great to see everybody. So everyone still looks pretty good. considering. Oh, I'll throw it to Dennis. How's that?
Yeah, Dennis.
Hey, Matt's partner, Dennis Rensler, executive producer. We came on after episode 6, so don't hold us responsible for anything that happened. Great seeing all of you. I'll give you a virtual hug.
Yeah.
Hey. One of my fondest memories of Even Stevens is the now legendary Beans audition.
Oh.
Steven came in, not really an actor. Maybe you did a commercial. That was about it.
That's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Not
And
much.
When he came in to read for the part of Beans, we weren't sure. And he said, wait a minute, could I tell you a joke?
That pirate joke.
And if you still remember it,
pirate joke.
if you still remember it, Steve, the famous pirate joke.
The crazy thing was though, y'all wrote it in the damn script, but you didn't book me yet. Like, you could have at least booked me, like, before you used my joke. Like, there was like that weird point where like y'all could have used the joke and said, "Bye, Steve."
You came with the joke.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the joke was, oh God, man, it's been 20 years. So pretty much, there was a pirate on a ship, and the ship was a rocking and a rolling, and the pirate fell off the ship.
That's Beans.
And he lost a leg, and the shark came and bit off his leg. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the shark, he fell off the ship again, and a shark came and bit off his hook. And I go, oh, okay. Well, how'd you get the eye patch? Did you fall overboard in a shark somehow? And he goes, no, I forgot about me hook. And a bird came and pooped in me eye. And like that was somehow the joke, and I forgot it off of 20 years of child acting and
Yeah, but
Hey, I just want to say how handsome I think Steven looks. Steven, you look so great. Your beard is majestic. Look how gorgeous he looks. His
Well,
beautiful eyes.
obviously, Nick and I have the same barber here.
You
but-
guys
Yeah,
have the
but you know
same
what, buddy?
barber.
Look at this, buddy. Look at this well-seasoned beard you got going on, man.
That's part of the beard. Tom, AJ,
Tom, I think you found.
quarantining.
Hey, Tom, I think it's another one of your kids. You just didn't go up to.
Did we not go to Jim yet, guys? Jim, did we hear from you?
Not yet.
No.
The man has an Emmy, guys, right there in his Zoom.
Come on.
What? Oh, it is back there. I didn't. Hi, everybody. It's great to see everybody. I've seen a few of you over the years. Mark, we had burgers one day, I remember.
We did.
And Matt, of course, and AJ, I've seen you, but I haven't seen the beard. You're looking great. Tom, I just saw you playing a priest on Betty Broderick.
Dirty John.
Dirty John, Betty Broderick.
That's right. Yeah.
Very
That's
convincing.
My it's the role I get most. Holy man.
Holy man. Holy man or racist.
You know what happens? I don't mean to interrupt you, Jim, but I'll go up for these roles and I do a mediocre audition. And I said, how did I get that part? You know, I didn't do too well. And they go, virtue. We had to.
So,
How you doing?
Virtue signaling. I'm great. We're hanging in there.
By the way, as it relates to the Beansy, I just feel like we didn't quite get the whole Beans audition story, because it really I mean, I myself have told the Beans audition story 15 times since that audition. And what was amazing about it, I don't know if you remember, Steve, but it was the delivery. It wasn't the joke. It wasn't about the hook. And I didn't even remember the punchline. Rince, what was or Mark, what was the best part of his?
It was something about rocking and a rolling.
Oh, yeah.
It just kept going. This is a new Even
and I
This is my
fell into the
grandson.
sea, and the shark bit me hand off, and all I got is a little hook. And this is coming from a little kid.
Yeah.
And we started cracking up.
And so the upshot of the deal was he walked out of the room, and everybody was, the first instinct was like, okay, glad that's over with. And then we're sitting there like seriously considering the part, and nobody was considering the kid who was going rocking and rolling. Like we were like looking at headshots, and then I forget who it was. It was Mark or Dennis was like, what about that kid with the joke? And everybody's like, nah. And then suddenly you're like, no, what about the kid with the seriously? What about the kid with the let's cast the kid with the joke. That's how it was. It was brilliant.
And the rest is show business history.
Hey,
There it is.
Mark, well, hey, I owe you one, buddy. Thanks, Mark.
Absolutely. For sure. Now you brought so much to the show. It was great. In fact, this is my grandson. He's the new generation of Even Stevens fans on Disney Plus. And he loves the show. He watches it all the time. So say hi, Ben.
Hi.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, Ben.
Keep
What's
watching
your favorite episode?
Beans on the brain.
What's your favorite episode?
What'll Idol do?
Probably.
Secret World of Girls.
No. It was a model principal.
Ooh,
Model principal.
sure.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have a couple more squares to cover. So Jim, you want to toss it to? We have four other squares here.
Jen, I tossed to you, Jen. You're
Casting
muted.
Jen.
Unmute.
Hey guys! Awesome. Yeah, I'm Jen from casting, and Even Stevens was my first show working on with you guys. I actually was a struggling actress and wanted to come in and see what it was all about, and I started working with Joey, and I just fell in love being behind the scenes and working with. It was a dream. So for me to be able to show up every day and be part of a family, it just, the memories will stick with me forever. It was the greatest time of my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jen, I have a question. Did you ever see anyone in casting at that time where you go, they didn't get the role and they've gone on to be something special? Anyone come in it, or maybe not?
Oh yeah. There's a lot. I mean, even now, my children still watch Disney Channel, and through the years, the kids that have come and gone through our, through our office, or we happened to like them in their audition, and they just weren't quite right for a role that we were casting for. We would, hip pocket them into a little file folder and use them for something else. And so many of these kids now are just huge phenomenons, within the acting world, which is such a great. It's such a great feeling, because in some ways, like, you feel like you're kind of a part of everybody's, like, not really their successes, because really they are the ones that do the work, but just the fact that we got to be there to help coach them and bring them along, and it just kind of gets to know everyone. It just helped. It helped us know that we were like that little integral part of the beginnings. Obviously the producers and the writers were the magic makers, creators, but it was really a part of all that. I remember. And I'll share about to the office, and he would set, I don't know if he remembers this, he used to set little rubber band traps with the rubber bands and the paper clips in my drawer. So every time I would open my drawers, it would snap out and hit my knuckles, and I would just hear this little laughter and snicker go running down the hallways, and I was like, I'm coming for you.
This was
it was a lot of
Shia.
fun.
This was Shia that did that?
Shia did it a couple of times, but it was more Steven.
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
was a little sneaky
He was
one.
a great, he was a great, what do they call it? Influence on Steven.
Oh yeah. Steven kind of took that role and ran with it. I think Shia did it a couple of times, but it was more Steven that would come in and hide out, or in our little closet. Remember, we used to have the little Serenity closet in our room, and we'd like lock ourselves in. And that was at the Beethoven address, not the hot tub part or the steam room portion, but the upstairs office. And people would just come in and like be in the closet, and if we couldn't find him on set or he was missing, we were looking in our office. He's probably in there, little sneaker.
I just want to
It was
say,
a lot of
like,
fun.
it's one of the most unique things about the show is how that Beethoven location, where everyone had a room there in a very very close quarters, and it really was more or less like going to a home every day and being able to talk to casting and talk to the writers, and you know, it's so unique. I've never had an experience like that, because sets can be very big and spread out, but I had never seen anything like that where we were all together in this one little, under one roof like that. It was really special.
Yeah,
And the
it
fact
was
also, the
It was
fact
an old
also that we
chainsaw
were
factory,
so
wasn't it,
far
Chris?
away from Disney. We were down in Playa del Rey. No one was really overseeing us except Aaron Garin, the other Aaron Garin.
The other one. How I got my
Yeah.
name. Who wants to tell the story of how Beans got his name?
Named our first executive, Steve Arangarin. We just loved his saying his last name. Whenever you were down, you said that name, it cheered you right up.
Aaron Garin.
When
think we've
Dave
got a
Thomas
few-
was the, we did the Little Mr. Sacktown, and Dave Thomas was the bad MC, and he kept repeating that all the time. Beans Arangarin. He kept saying it over and over and over again.
By the way, guys, just whenever you want to go back to Mandolino,
They're ready.
let me know, guys. I still got the coconuts.
Oh boy.
Yes,
Get that
Do it.
suitcase of bacon ready.
I love
Okay.
it.
Hey, family, where's Pookie?
Oh,
Where's Pookie?
I can go get Pookie.
I can get
You want to
Pookie.
get Pookie? I think you have Pookie closer at hand.
Where in the world is Pookie?
I have
Where
Pookie.
in the world is
You have
I'll get Pookie. Keep introducing people.
You get Pookie. Okay, we're gonna go next to. We have a couple more squares here, guys. And like I said before, if you're just joining our YouTube live or our live in general, again, we have 1,300 people watching us right now, and we're really happy that you guys came to join our reunion. We're having a blast. We haven't seen each other in very long, but we've all stayed in touch, whether through Facebook or we've had the occasional reunion at a restaurant and bar. So we're happy to see each other, especially during this crazy time. But we have all of these amazing departments represented today outside of just, the cast. So now I just want to say we have our line producer, David Grace, who's also a line producer on Honey Boy.
True.
David,
Yeah.
what's up? Isn't your character?
Hey, great to be here. It's
Aren't you
awesome to-
on Honey Boy or something like that?
What's that?
Isn't your character? Weren't you asked? I saw you.
I am
post-
actually in Honey Boy. Yes, I at the first scene of the flashback where Noah Jupe's character comes in. He starts walking off after getting the pie in the face, and he walks by craft service, and I'm silhouetted there, and I say, "Hey Otis, nice pie in the face," or something like that. I don't remember what my line is, but yeah, you can't really tell it's me. The director said, "You have to be in this scene. You have to play an older version of your younger self." So there I was.
An older version of your younger self.
Wow.
It's cool.
That's my now claim to fame. I'm a big movie star now. So yeah.
So
now it's, you see, I did direct one episode of Even Stevens. I directed Stevens Manor. So now I've got producer, actor, and director. So I've got it all covered now.
Wow.
And world's biggest U2 fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have one David Grace, quick David Grace story. You're also kind of an agent as well. When I was, yeah, kind of. You got me the job really, because I was up for the part, had auditioned like 5 times, did not envision me being a Disney actor. Was looking for other projects in life, and this one came along, and there was a back and forth on quotes and all that kind of stuff, and I just didn't know if it was the right fit for me. And after a big battle with my agent, you and I got on a call. Do you remember this?
I do vaguely remember this now that you're bringing it up. Yes.
Yeah, you called me directly, and you're like, "Listen, this is the best we can do. If you decide you can't go with it, that's fine. We understand, but would love to have you be on the show. And that's kind of just laid it on the line for me. And after that, I was like, just the fact that you took the time to have a conversation with me about it, I was like, you know what, I don't want to miss the chance. And that was it. And I'm grateful I did, because wouldn't be a part of this whole family right now if it weren't for you, David. So
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say. It really is a family. It's like I talk about it all the time, my Even Stevens family. And I almost every single show that I have produced since Even Stevens, there has been several people from that crew who've been on the show. I mean, I just consistently, you know, I work with Patrice all the time. I call Karen all the time. I mean, Mike Locke, who did Transpo on it, works for me a lot still. Kristen Dewey, who was our location manager, she works for me a lot. I just, this really is family. I adore all of you guys. So
Feelings are mutual, Dave.
And now we're gonna go. I just want to say too, on YouTube, guys, I see you guys. I see your questions, and once we introduce everybody, we're gonna probably get to them, right, Nick?
Oh, boy.
And we were planning to go till 5. I know that Ty Hodges is trying to get out of an ADR session right now so that he can pop in if you guys are Larry Beal fans. And so we are doing our best here. It's obviously, this is a very cool, fun chaos here. So,
and by the way, we don't have to stop at 5. I just kind of wanted to give everyone a framework to work within if time is limited for you, and have us all here together. But if we're having a great time and want to stick around after, we can keep the video going. It really is just great to catch up with everyone in this way. So there is no limit on this love, you guys. There is no limit.
What about Karen?
Yep. So Karen.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
You're muted. You're muted.
Muted.
Your microphone.
All right, hold on. This is
There
new
you
to me.
go. Yes.
Am I allowed to use profanity?
No.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
parents.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna hold on. If earmuffs for the children.
That's right. There might be kids watching.
What children now?
I
used to be the children.
I fucking miss you guys so much. You have no idea. I don't even want to start crying, but seriously, best experience I ever had. First union job, treated like gold, and you guys seriously were family to me.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you, Karen. Big
I
love,
love
Karen.
you guys too.
Yeah, I actually want
Thanks
to
for
say
removing
something
those
that
ingrown
I've had to-
hairs.
Mom, every time I see you, and I saw you on Dirty
Dirty
John
John.
season 2, right?
Yeah,
Every
Karen
time
did
that-
my makeup just a couple of months ago.
I did. The thing was, every time you used to come to our trailer with that plate of donuts and powdered sugar all over your face because your wife would not let you eat that at home. So you'd have like 8 donuts just shoving. The things I remember about that is too much. It's too much. But
food on
thank you
that
guys,
show.
all of you were just so kind and wonderful to me, and all of it. It was really. I was so glad to start my 20+ year career now with this show and you guys.
Karen, who was the actor that you originally shaded this part of his neck? And you used to refer to an actor every time you would.
Okay, dude. I mean, I don't even. This wasn't on this show. It was on another show.
On another show, a famous, more famous.
Yeah, no, it was on Race to Space, and we had to so much that the wardrobe was wanting to shoot me because it was getting all over the white collar, and I'm like, oh my god, it was a lot.
But who was the actor?
It was a monkey.
No.
No, it was William Atherton, but I think he's taken care of that issue. I noticed it's no longer there.
But so I had it during Even Stevens, and she would
little.
say, "I got to take. I'm going to take
lashes, Jim.
I'm going to take care of your Atherton." You call the Atherton. That's why I grew the facial hair
Oh,
to
good
cover my
Lord.
Atherton.
His
So are we going to do a reunion? Who's writing the reunion thing 20 years later? Teresa and I talked about this.
No, not me.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Somebody?
I'm out of ideas.
Dr. Dennis.
I have some. Just saying. Should we register with the WGA? What should we do?
Well, what happened to that kid Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is the
Good
second
kid.
time you're bringing him up, and there's
Yeah.
so many
Well,
comments.
listen, before we get to Shia, I don't think Meredith has.
Meredith hasn't gone.
Yay, hi. For all of those that don't know me, I was a key set costumer, and it was actually one of my last set jobs. I've been key or shopper ever since then. So this was the last time I had that kind of family with all the cast, all the crew, and it's really was a special, amazing time. I'll have a little tiny Tom story is that when I would go to his room to wrap his clothes, he had our call sheet up there. Nothing bad.
Okay.
Call sheet up there so he could remember our names, remember everyone's names. And I was really impressed by that because just to know that he cared enough to try to remember our names. I mean, after that many years,
I
you
heard
do
after
eventually.
a couple of years he was able to actually memorize them.
I don't think so. I don't think he ever did.
He was just old back then.
That's
so
heartwarming.
God. But I miss you all, and I miss working in general. This COVID stuff, I mean, it's awful all around, but I miss working, which is amazing. But it was a great, great time with you all, and I love you all, and I miss you all.
Miss you too.
You've been married all these years, right?
I met my husband actually when I was on Even Stevens, because we
Right.
would have those little hiatuses built in because of the kids working and the way that it was just shot. And I flew to Turkey and I met my husband there, and
that's
he's been
right.
here. Yeah, he's been here since 2004. I have a 13-year-old who of course doesn't watch any TV, only YouTube, and plays Fortnite all day long. But no Disney.
We got to get them on the
Typical.
Disney Plus. I mean, the more that people watch it, right? The more, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I've
Matt,
tried.
you worked
I've
that out,
tried.
didn't you? With the Writers Guild?
Get them hooked, man. Get them hooked.
Yeah.
All right.
If I can get her off Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Oh gosh.
Same problem here.
All right, so I think we got everybody, right?
A beautiful reunion, in my opinion, of
Yeah, you guys.
of
One
families.
big group hug. Love you all.
I wanted to say something because I have, obviously no one ever recognizes me at coffee shops or anything, but I've had a similar experience to what Tom has where people, I'll be on a show that I'm producing, and it's happened pretty consistently lately. About halfway through the show, one of the PAs will come up to me and say, "Oh my God, did you do Even Stevens?" And they are, they're just like, they're so excited to be working with somebody who produced their show that was their favorite show when they were kids. It's you don't realize how much your show impacts people when you're doing it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to have that sort of reaction from people.
I wish Donna was available to be with us.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
nice.
That would have been fun.
Well, when we were doing the show, we felt like we were trying to attract smart, funny kids with a little bit of a twisted sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And now they became cool adults.
Yeah.
And they
Totally.
fondly at the show.
And no one ever
We
wanted
had
to
a lot
hire
of
us again.
college students that watched the show.
Yeah.
Do you know,
yeah.
one time,
I
one
was-
time I was at a gas station one time, and this big threatening guy came near me, and I was scared. I was out, and it was out in the middle of the desert. I was doing a drive, and then he goes, "Even Stevens, man." He was 45 at the time. Even Stevens. I go, "You watch that show?" He goes, "I love that show."
I had a similar thing. There's a disc jockey named Bobby Bones. I think they use him on American
Yeah.
Idol sometimes. Bobby Bones, and I was writing on an iHeart Country special in Austin, and I walked into his dressing room to talk to him about something, and we had seen each other a couple of times prior, and he says, "Were you Coach Tugnut?" and my response was, "How old are you?" and I haven't worked with him since. I just kept it to myself, but that a lot of people.
Hey
Remember
guys,
that
so
first
real
day we
quickly,
went out on location at the school.
go ahead, Robin.
Remember that first time that we were out on location at the school? It was like we were 6 episodes aired, and all of the kids from the
Oh
school
yeah,
were at
Oh,
the
yeah.
kids.
yeah.
And we were,
Yeah.
not knowing just how well it was being received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a period, and I can't recall if it was after, I think it was after the pilot aired, or maybe it was right before Mark and Dennis came on. But there was a period where we were down for like 3 months, right? And we weren't sure if the show was going to ever come back. I went to Italy. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to spend this money traveling for a little while in case I never have the chance again. And then I got a call like 5 weeks later that the show was coming back in. But Mark and Dennis, was that before you guys came on, or was that right after the pilot?
Yeah. When you guys did 6, I think, and then you went down and they fired Eric Von Lowe and whatever that team was. And we came on and they gave us another 8 weeks after that to write all the new episodes, restaff and everything. So that was probably, you probably had a gap of maybe 4 or 5 months where you were off.
I would love to hear some behind the scenes stories, because a lot of us were kids in the cast. We were kids, and I'm sure there was things going on behind the scenes that we had no idea about, that we were all insulated from. I'm so curious.
I wonder about that.
I
wonder about that all the time.
Juicy story that you guys want to share from the adults at the time.
Come on, guys.
Go ahead.
The adults, speak up, adults.
Karen, don't you dare say a word.
AJ, you might remember this. The first script I wrote was Scrub Day. And when I wrote the script, I said the older kids and Larry Beal go after the younger kids, and they go after Lewis finally, and they're going to put him in a giant vat of sloppy joes.
Oh, God.
And I imagined and the tables on Larry, they're diving, and I pictured Lewis would be doing cannonballs and having a lot of fun. And I get a call down at the set. They bought 200 cans of spicy chili.
Yeah.
Margot's mother, who played, Margot played Tawny, said, our kids are not jumping into a vat of spicy chili, and their faces, their eyes, their private parts, there's no way. I had to send all the chili back.
About that one.
Well, the other part of
I
this,
remember that.
Dennis, the other part of the story, I don't know if you guys remember this. All of us kids wrapped ourselves in saran wrap and put diapers on.
Right.
Yes.
Oh no!
To get in the
On
chili.
that show.
We couldn't waste the chili.
I remember the
That chili's
emergency
expensive.
run for saran wrap. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys were trying to save money, and we served it for lunch the next day.
That did not happen.
That was David Grace.
I love it,
Disney.
David Grace. No. Did not.
Disney budget.
Did not happen.
I did go in, you went in, and like daintily, and I thought, oh, we're screwed. This isn't funny. And Shia started doing, or maybe it was Margot, was doing Marco Polo, and everyone was jumping around, and it became funny.
Yeah.
And saved the scene, actually.
Before we go any further, I want to address two questions that keep coming up from viewers, which is obviously, where's Shia? And also address the fact that Donna's not here. So for everyone who's watching, obviously Shia is a huge part of the show. And we owe, I think, a lot of its success to his raw talent. He's an amazing comedian, an amazing person. Unfortunately, we could not get him to join the reunion today. Same thing with Donna. Donna wanted to be here. She loves all of us. She sends the love to everybody. And just she had other obligations and couldn't make the 4 o'clock call. So I'm sad that we don't. Oh, and Tawny as well, Margot. We reached out to everyone, and we really made a solid effort to have them here with us, but not everyone can make the call. And I hope that this is just the beginning of something special, that we could do more of this, or as some people talk about, a reboot. But the one challenge we all face is, it's kind of hard to reboot a show that is as special as it is without Shia. So no matter what happens, we're still all part of this family, and he's here with us in spirit, even if you guys don't get a chance to see him on the screen with us right now.
I have an idea, by the way. Why don't we do a fan fest? I work on Gilmore Girls, and they do a fan fest every year where fans come from all around the world and for a weekend, and they get to meet the actors and people behind the scenes on the show. So why don't Even Stevens, why don't we do that? Maybe do a weekend or something when all of this is behind us, and do a fan fest, and so that we can meet the fans up close and personal.
I'll do you one better. We make it a cruise.
Yeah. Like that.
Yes.
Well, this is behind us.
That would be great.
Love it. Kind of curious about this whole
Beans, you have to bring your outfit.
And hold on a second. They might even sponsor that because they definitely need some travelers right now.
Oh, yeah, really?
Sure.
Hey.
That would be
Okay, I
great.
just wanted to show one of my prized possessions.
Oh,
Burro.
So
Is that
the
from
closet.
Yeah, the closet. I was thinking
the
about
closet.
that today.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my
The
God.
closet mariachi
I
bar.
know, right? It sits in my kitchen.
AJ, people are asking, are you single? Because you're hot.
Ah.
What?
Oh, it's spooky.
There's
Pook.
Hey, by the way,
How many
Christy,
cookies were there?
Christy, I'm
Yes.
taken. So get your face around.
Tom Virtue is not on the market, ladies and gentlemen. So just
No, he is not.
No.
We just
Hey,
lost
please,
half our
Mary.
viewers.
who'd we
Hey,
lose?
by the way, guys, Pookie has seen the world.
Wow.
This guy's been to Vegas. He's been to Burning Man. He's been to a lot of places.
Wait, did you get Pookie?
I did get
I
Pookie.
think there
Wow.
were two, right?
Christy has the Disney version of Pookie.
Oh.
I have the Fear and Loathing version of Pookie.
Things in that one eye. My Pookie has been in a box with the chair that Krista
Oh.
made.
You can't put Pookie in a box, man. You can't put Pookie in a box.
Twitty, did you say Twitty? I'm legal now. Somebody just said in the comments.
Oh God. Hey, me too, for that matter.
Wait, hold on a second. Speaking of Twitty,
That's hilarious.
of AJ and his availability, we won't share too much of the story, AJ, because I think you were underage. No, we were doing some kind of charity event in St. Louis.
Yeah. What was that? It was a basketball event. Shia was there too.
Shia was there. We were doing a charity event, and this older woman was really interested in AJ.
This is completely your fault, Nick. You were a bad influence on me.
Talking.
Wait, how old were you, AJ?
I was probably 15.
And how old was she?
No, God, I was younger. I was 14.
No, you were not 14.
Yeah, I was 14. I know because I
don't know.
yeah.
She might have been 18 or something like that. I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
So what
Yeah.
happened?
He was so petrified of this woman that I had to try to get him prepared for this, and I tried to push him into the situation, and it was so hysterical to see him terrified because she was all about it, and he was trying to run at every turn.
Yeah, I
Well, you were
remember.
14, so yeah.
Hey,
There's a really great question. Somebody says, who was the worst at keeping a straight face during scenes?
Wow.
I don't know who was the worst, but that was my favorite. Those were my favorite times when everyone would just bust up and start
Yeah.
giggling and could not
Always.
get together. I lived for that. That was the absolute best.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say you, AJ.
It could be. It could be.
I think you broke a lot.
That
It was great.
That was it was my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, and speaking of breaking character, does someone do?
Guys, we
I
got
don't think
David
the world
Brookwell
really
joining us
knows.
this week.
Brookwell's here.
Oh,
Yo, the
Brookwell.
world, speaking of
David,
breaking
where are
character-
you?
I'm taking this all in. No, this is a virtual background. We can change this.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
David
yeah.
Brookwell is
You guys want to go flying in an airplane?
Yeah.
Oh.
How about my favorite place, Fiji?
There you go.
Let's go surf.
Hey everyone, David Brookwell is one of the executive producers of the show. He just joined the call. What up, David?
Hey guys.
He also
All's good.
directed Leaving Stevens, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Tom, I love that quarantine beard.
There you go.
That's looking great. I just
Good.
shaved this morning.
Growing it until
You guys all
until
look
we
great.
get- until we're free again. What was the other one? Didn't you direct Pookie? Did you direct Pookie Stevens too?
Yeah.
I did. I did. I had the privilege. absolutely. That
Does
was a lot
everyone
of
still
fun.
have their shirts?
I
Um,
do.
Somewhere,
mine.
yeah.
I have several. I think I bought them all from Wardrobe at the end of the
Yeah.
show.
Oh my God, I'm
gonna
looking
put
at
them
all
on
the
eBay
faces
after
here.
this.
It's just
I
so
would-
cool.
Them off.
I have mine. Yep.
Speaking of purchasing
how
shirts
many
from
of our-
Wardrobe at the end of the thing, I know that all the crew members were big on buying up Louis Stevens tiki shirts.
I
Those
did.
those were the hot commodity. Everybody wanted those.
They were
tiki
$5 a piece. I still have 2 of the Hawaiian shirts, and I bought 4 of my suits. I still wear all of my clothes from Even Stevens. $700. I haven't changed my clothes in 20 years.
I got a lot of
And
mine.
I just want to. I want to. This is going to seem like a kind of a random thing, but I want to thank Mark and Dennis because one time we were in Hawaii when we were making the movie, and I travel a lot. Since the show, I've traveled a lot and done a lot of theater touring. And it was you guys who told me, you know, when I leave the hotel room, I leave a couple of bucks for the maid, and I never thought to do that ever. And now I always leave $2 a day at least, you know.
$2, really? Wow.
Is that bad?
Nice. 2 to 3 is good.
That is bad.
$3 sometimes. Yeah. But you know, I feel really good, and I always think of you guys when I'm in a hotel. I go, oh, I gotta leave
that's
that
good.
money, like they said.
So we were good for something. That's good.
You know,
work hard.
I gotta thank Mark and Dennis as well, because when my wife became pregnant with my son Connor, I told you guys, and you said we'll put you in as many episodes as we can now on, and there was a lot, and that guy is 18 now, and he's heading off to college hopefully. If,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah,
Cool.
if he doesn't.
Hey,
time to
Dad,
present
is that what I should have said?
Yes. Yes. My wife is pregnant.
No, Jim, we wanted you in as many episodes as possible.
You
The
were hysterical.
romance between you and Donnie.
Yeah. That was a special relationship,
It
Coach.
really
Like that.
was.
Jim, I think for a lot of people, their favorite episode, at least Christy, you would know better than I would. I think their favorite episode was Influenza. And most
Yeah.
people don't realize that, Jim, you wrote a lot of the songs, if not
All
all,
the
of
music.
songs, right?
All the songs, yeah.
And the lyrics for all that musical.
Yes, we had a meeting. We had lyrics were pitched, and we turned them into songs. And that was like the best experience I've ever had, being able to record everybody. And
That was my favorite episode to produce. I had so much fun.
yeah, it was like I think though also we took 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah,
Right?
we had that prep. We had prep where we would in between scenes,
You guys-
take us actors and
We did that in the
Johnny
Halloween
Depp.
show, right almost together. That Halloween show was right before it, I think. The 2 crazy
Oh,
episodes.
that's great.
The Renplicates.
Episode was
The
fun.
eyeballs in the milk.
Hey guys, this actually leads us into a question from one of our viewers. They said, out of all the episodes that we shot, which episode would we redo?
Ooh, redo.
Which one would we like to reshoot? I know the answer for me, but what do you got? Which one would you want to go back and do again?
What's your answer, Nick?
I mean, the movie. Come on, let's go to Hawaii, baby.
He's
I mean,
gonna go to Hawaii again.
It's no contest.
Yeah, forget about the Arboretum in Pasadena. We got to do the whole thing in Hawaii.
The whole thing in Hawaii.
Hawaii, yes.
Actually, if you guys remember, that we were kind of in our own quarantine during that episode, because we were shooting out at that one resort, and they told us don't leave the resort because we were all kind of younger. I was a little bit older, so I took off one night and went to a local bar and realized why you don't really want to do that where we were.
Yeah, it's the Barrio side of the island.
Yeah, it
that's
was
the
great.
west side.
I had a good time,
No good.
but wouldn't recommend it for a younger person.
And yo, we have to tell the story about the person getting stranded on the side of the cliff and Coast Guard having to rescue.
Helicopters, yes.
You
There was
guys always
something-
got to tell that story.
No, Steven, people want you to speak. People are saying, like, constantly saying, let Beans talk, let Steven talk, let Steven talk. So you tell us.
Yo, yeah, I just remember like us, you know, you having the spear in your hand, you know, ready to, you know, chuck Shia over the ledge, and then I just hear this help, 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 and we look over, and there's like, you know, the photo shoot going on the other side of the cliff, and one of like our grips, I thought, right? It was one of our guys that
No,
had like
it was a random climber we decided to climb up there. What's really funny is because the movie involves a helicopter, and we wanted to have a helicopter there, and we couldn't get a permit for it. So when the rescue helicopter comes in to rescue this guy off the side of the cliff, and we have to clear off the top of the mountain, my location manager starts getting all these phone calls from Malibu saying, "Hey, we told you no helicopter. What the hell are you doing? We're going to pull your permit." And she's like, "It's not our helicopter. It's a rescue fire helicopter." But yeah, we got a little confusion there with the city of Malibu. They were very upset with us for about 20 minutes when they thought we were just ignoring our permit.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
didn't know that.
A question for the writers. I recall walking around the backstage area where the writers' rooms were and stuff, and oftentimes doing an absolutely terrible British accent, and it made its way into an episode one time where we were filming a movie and Twitty's character did a really bad
Movie
English accent. What was it called?
Movie Madness.
Movie Madness. Are there other examples of you guys seeing us do various things, whether it was Nick or Christy or somebody?
Fred Myers.
Oh my God.
Who played Tom Grabowski?
Who played Tom Grabowski was a black belt in karate.
Right.
And we didn't believe it. And we asked him to come up to the writer's room and show us a few moves, and we were shocked at the things he could do. And we wrote a whole episode where Lewis got harassed by a bully, and Fred, the nerd, saves him and ended up embarrassing him. But he did his stuff in that episode. That was him.
I think also Christy singing. I mean, that sort of was led into the musical.
Yeah, definitely
that's
Christy.
what I was
And also
agreeing with.
AJ's,
I
you know,
decided
AJ's
to
guitar.
Share what an amazing voice she
Very
had with
big.
us. Yeah.
Well, actually, hey, Christy, one of the fans, since we're talking about you singing, they asked if you would sing a part of "We Went to the Moon."
I mean, only if I feel like I want everyone to sing. Can we do
I
that?
don't-
Everybody sing?
I don't know the lines. I'll just
This will be a
fake
great
it.
moment, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jim needs to get his guitar.
Look at me.
Jim's got his guitar.
Yeah!
It's happening.
Just a warning, when everyone sings
Now
on,
we're in.
when people sing on Zoom, it turns into a round, whether you want it to be or not.
We all know the lyrics, right? It's "We
Yes.
went to the moon in 1969, not 1968, but the year after."
Okay.
Hey.
How do you do that?
Aloha to Maui. AJ, they want you on Cameo.
Do you
buddy.
know how the song goes still?
Something like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went
In
1969.
Everybody nod.
How's that?
We went
to the moon.
The moon in
1969.
19. Hold on a second. This is all off, you guys. There's no rhythm to this right now. Jim, don't stop.
A lot of delay.
Jim, we're taking your Emmy back.
My dog is trying to sing along with everybody.
Okay. Christy, they wanted to hear you. Let's go.
Yeah, let Christy do it.
Yeah, do it. Do an acapella.
on the YouTube channel.
By yourself.
On YouTube, right.
Me and
Go
Lauren
ahead.
did a thing.
Hey, Lauren, yeah,
We
why
did a
don't you
thing.
and Christy do it?
Yes, Lauren.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Try. Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Jim, get that guitar. You got it. No?
They can do it a cappella.
Do it a cappella.
Please.
Lauren.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. We
went to the moon in 1969. Not 1968. Is it happening? Well,
this
a
is
year
horrible.
late.
This
It's
is
awful.
not gonna work. This is
Well,
bad.
why-
I'm trying to.
You're
get
not
it
singing,
out.
Christy.
Well, because I was trying to do it. This isn't gonna work.
Okay, let's do a countdown. I'll do a countdown to 3 and then you all sing. No?
I think they just need to go
It's
watch
a-
Christy's
it's a sync
episode.
issue. It's a
It's,
sync
it's
issue.
impossible. Dennis,
Yeah.
Dennis is
Go to
right.
Impossible. There's too much lag.
We tried our best.
You know what's funny is I
I'm
remember
starting to think it was
almost all of
magic
those
done in the
songs because my
studio
kids
in
were
post.
the age to watch our show when it came on, so they would watch that one over and over again. So I know that all the songs. No one wants to hear me sing, I assure you, but I know the words.
Well, did you see-
Guys, was there ever
hear Cardi B singing it?
Yes, there
Yeah.
was.
Yes, it did.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh my God, I remember. Oh my God, that's right.
Wait, what happened?
Wow.
Cardi B sang it.
Yep.
On
We
her
went to the
Instagram
moon?
or
That, Jim?
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
got it on
was.
my Instagram too.
She was. Yeah, Christy, you posted it. That's where I saw it. It was. She's like, "How come I know the song? We went to the moon in 1969. How come I know that song? How come I know
And then
that song?"
she and then she unposted it, but everyone had sent it to me already, so I had
Right.
to I have it.
Anyway.
Well, Jim made a lot of money in royalties from that, right?
Mhm.
I think I bought that.
There's that college education.
That's right.
Well, I mean, Nick, how are you feeling? Did you want to answer some questions in general? I mean,
Well, yeah. So actually,
I got a
I
question.
had some questions I wanted to throw out for the group, and you guys could no need to throw it to any one person. You guys could just answer at will. But I'm curious to know where you guys think the characters are now.
That's
Oh,
the basis of the reunion show 20 years later.
Yep.
Who like
There you go.
Yeah, if you were to write like where they are now, what are they doing? Besides the fact that Donnie's definitely still in high school. Besides that.
Donnie and Coach Tugnut live together. They rent
Yeah.
a place in Sacramento. A little
Oh, I like that.
I think Beans is part of the vegan movement now.
Yes.
Beans has gone vegan.
No more bacon?
No more bacon.
No
It's-
more bacon.
Oh.
Wow.
After
What
his
is- what-
third heart attack, he gave up the bacon.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
But hold on a second. Hey, guys, what does the writers' room have to say about
There we go. Let's hear that.
Well, maybe Ren is a professional singer like when she did secret karaoke, but she had to change her name from Isis. That just doesn't hold up today.
All right.
Okay.
I think Tugnut will be wherever Donnie is.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Doing rhythmic gymnastics.
Yes.
I
Right.
think Tugnut and Donnie adopted
Synchronized
Beans.
swimming.
Donnie adopted Beans.
Tugnut and Donnie
Tugnut
Beans.
together
A very happy
in
family.
our union.
I think Beans is a traveling yogi. He became a shaman.
Beans needs his spinoff.
He doesn't wear shoes anymore. He just travels around the world.
Yeah, I became a professional masseuse because I remember him being very, very good in Stevens Manor. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
People
That's
still
right.
want to know Swedish or deep tissue.
That's right.
I remember speaking of massage, Beansy giving massage, but he refused to take off his belt that had his lotion on it. And he rigged his. Do you guys remember this? And he rigged the lotion so it was right in the center, as opposed to like on his hip. I'm like, Beansy, why do you have it in front, right in front like that? And he goes, because I like to keep it warm.
We got a question. Is Beans an alien? Is he really an alien?
The answer is yes, he was.
Yes.
We ended the episode that he was actually an alien. And we just left it at that with no explanation, which
Right.
was one of my
No
favorite.
explanation necessary.
One of my favorites too, Mark.
Mine too, easily.
Do we ever have a blooper reel?
There is one.
Do you know, I've got a first season blooper reel somewhere.
Oh, you got to release that.
I know.
Funny
It's
to
got
see.
it's got my son saying, "What's your favorite show?" And he says, "Eben Stevens."
That I got.
Oh,
Yeah. So he's 22 now.
Yeah.
Where
I remember
I
him,
can't believe
Gus.
it was that many years ago.
Yeah.
Gus.
yo, when
Here's
I
a-
heard the third season blooper, remember at the third season rap party, we watched the one blooper of the third season. I had that somewhere. Remember we played it too. I hope they had the time of our lives.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope we had the time of our lives.
Oh, that's right.
Great song.
I had that montage for the longest time that we saw
Yeah.
after that.
Let me. I'll just pop it into the VHS and we could all watch it.
Yeah, people really want to release this blooper reel.
Yeah. Okay. So who's got a VHS these days?
I
Right?
feel like the whole
So-
show was a fun blooper reel. We had so much fun when we were filming those scenes. Everybody was, I feel like it was pretty organic too. Don't you think? Shia really improvised quite a lot. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the comedy, I don't know, speak to this, you guys who've directed and our writers and our producers, but I mean, the show felt very ahead of its time, especially for Disney Channel, because I think that's why people are still so in love with the show. The quality of what we made is still intact. People can still go back. You can watch it on Disney Plus and you can enjoy it just like back then. And I think people are enjoying it on a different level as adults now. I mean, do you guys, as the
Well,
writers?
I think that the channel, really let the rope out the last season. I think they were so focused on other things that they kind of let us do whatever we wanted. And props out to Aaron Guerin, who really, ran interference for us with the channel.
Yeah, he's
I
not
just talked to him this morning.
He doesn't work at
No, I'm
Disney.
talking about Beans Aaron Guerin. No, I'm talking about Steve.
Do you guys, you guys in the writers' room, did you ever feel any type of rivalry with Lizzie McGuire that came out shortly after us?
Well, they got all the money. They got the merchandising. They got all the. They got
Theatrical release.
I like the ugly stepchild. Totally. But we had the better show. So
Was there
Yes, we did. We had the
conversation
better
going
show.
on
Sure.
set of like those dang guys over at Lizzie
No,
McGuire? They're getting all the
Never,
money.
never. We didn't get.
Up there
Honestly, we were making a thing, a very specific thing. And it's just like anything you do that you're doing well, whether it's on a professional sports team or making a piece of furniture. We weren't letting any outside influences affect our vision for what it was. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. In fact, I think they're a year behind us, right, you guys?
Yeah.
And so like, to me, we were in our flow and just having a great time, and it was fun to, and I was going to mention this earlier, but I'm not sure it makes sense, but maybe you guys can riff on it, is like, the show was easy to do.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah.
It was just simple. It was just, obviously every production has some, late nights or whatever, stuff like that, but it was so simple, and I attribute it to a bunch of stuff, but it kind of, I think, not to get all mushy, but I think it started with Mark and Dennis just being calm and just having a very open, inclusive sort of approach to how to get a job done.
Where would you guys pull stories from? Like, was there a formula for what the types of things that would make it into an actual episode?
It was like a psychology session. We'd sit around and talk about our lives. What was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened in school? What's the biggest fight you had with a sibling? What are you sorry you did to your parents? We would just tell our stories, and we would say, well, that's a good one for Ren, or that's a good one for Donnie, whatever. But it was all stories that we lived through.
Does
There
that
was
mean one of
also-
you guys turn your house into an Airbnb for a night?
All the time.
Hey, guys.
There's something. Oh, sorry, Nick. This is my last
No.
thing. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on it. It feels like Even Stevens existed in this weird middle ground on Disney Channel, and we almost sort of slipped through the cracks, which is you had the shows before us, So Weird and The Jersey, which have no connection to what came after us. And then immediately after us was Lizzie McGuire, which is sort of a template for a lot of the future shows on Disney Channel. It seemed like they found their formula in a lot of ways. And Even Stevens is this anomaly that just exists between these two eras on Disney Channel, The Jersey and So Weird, and then Lizzie McGuire and everything came after it.
I think that's true. I think that's true. I think the business sort of changed. They shifted gears. I think they just sort of reassessed. I mean, kids TV, at least from my perspective, because I got there a few years earlier. I'd done a Nick show, and it was sort of flying under the radar. Like, nobody was really putting really intense eyes on it. And then after us, it became said, what I know about business, you could fit on the head of a pin, but it became like, holy shit, this is a big deal. Kids TV is a big deal. We need executives, we need notes, we need a process and scrutinize every moment and cuts and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we were in that transitional place.
They left us alone. They really left us alone to do whatever we wanted.
Yeah, I remember, and I mean, what Matt created was such a smart, quirky show. There really was never anything like that, which is what attracted us to it. And when we saw the first few episodes, we didn't really want to work on the show. And then when we read Matt's original pilot, we're like, oh, wait a second, there's really something here. And we put this amazing writer's room together. It was just so much fun. And I wish Sarah and Susie were here and Tom Burkhardt too.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they could make it, but it was really magical and really special, and just something we'll always remember. So thank you, Matt, for creating the show. And,
Matt, thank you, buddy.
It was,
Thanks for giving us a job.
Thank you, Matt.
I want to relate just one story. I remember before we shot the pilot, we met at the Disney Channel. We were brought on, and Matt had already been working on it like about 3 or 4 months. And they handed us a draft, and on the title page it said "Mutant Draft." And somebody had gone in and taken all of Matt's drafts and cut and pasted it. I mean, literally like cut pages apart and like Xerox them and put them together. And I remember walking to the conference room, they called us in from the lobby, and Matt, it was he had this like defeated look on his face, and he turned to me and he goes, "This thing will never get made." And I remember being all charged up going, no, that's why we're here, Matt. We're going to make it, So it was, and it took a long time, it was like several months before we cast Shia.
Yeah.
And it's just, anyway, I've got fond memories of the whole process. It was definitely an anomaly for me.
Not to speak for Shia, but you brought up casting Shia, and I feel like he told me this story, or maybe Matt or somebody told me this story, that it was the auditions for Lewis Stevens, and Shia comes into the waiting room and starts introducing himself to all the other kid actors auditioning for Lewis. Say, "Hey, I'm Shia. I'm playing Lewis Stevens."
Right. You can leave now. That's a true story. What they actually, somebody came out of the lobby, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been a Disney Channel executive or an assistant saying, "Hey, Shia's like saying that he's got the part, and like there's another set of parents that are upset." And so we had to pull him aside and say, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I got the part, don't I?" It's like, "No, this is the network test." It's like, stop saying that to the other kids. Basically, he was intimidating them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because one of the questions.
I worked with Shai on a Nickelodeon before. Remember, Karen? And that's exactly the way he was.
Oh yeah,
When we did Head 100 Deeds.
He
was like, what, 11
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, that kid was. You knew something was going to happen with him.
Yeah.
I met him when he was 8.
Yeah.
So it's stunning, and I'm happy for him because he's a good person, and he's gone through a lot. But you could see success in him from that age.
Can I tell you the best audition I've ever seen to this day? And I've worked a little bit, but I've never seen an actor get a part faster than Christy Romano.
Woo!
Christy.
She came in a blue blazer and owned the room. And before she even got into the audition, you go, "That's her. That's her. That's it." And everybody knew it. And it was when you find one of your leads, it's a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, it was perfect.
I remember Nick doing a one-arm push-up in his audition.
Did I really do that?
Just to put a seal on the performance. It's like, "Hey, you want to see me do a one-handed push-up?"
Did I really? I don't remember that at all.
I know.
My audition. We talked about Steven's audition. We talked about Nick's audition. What about Lauren and AJ and George's? While we have our cast here, and Tom, like if you guys remember any of that,
I remember mine very well. It was a fluke. Tina Treadwell, who was casting at Disney.
Yeah.
I had done a thing years ago, just a little reading, and she called me the night before the table read of Even Stevens and said, are you free tomorrow to do this table read? And for this pilot called Spivey's Kid Brother. And I said, sure. And so I went over the night before, got the script, and I got home, got in bed, and I just kind of, okay. And then the next day, got up. I said, well, okay, it's for a principal. So I dressed up, went to some hotel, I think, where they were having the table read, and everyone was hugging and saying hello and stuff like that. I was under the impression that the part had already been cast, and I was just coming in there to just read for the table read, and just doing a favor. And then Tina comes up to me and says, by the way, the part has not been cast, do well. I went, oh, excuse me. I went back and then we did the table read, and 2 hours later I was offered the role.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yay. Bravo.
That was awesome.
And it was made for you.
Yes.
The cast was
a long speech. We wrote a long speech like from Ruby's gossip column. Christy's going out with David, who used to go out with Jim, and then was going with Karen, and then Lauren, and nobody could do it. Everybody they kept stumbling over it. Can I try it again? Can I try it again? And Lauren came in, nailed the whole thing with a New York. And we said,
Well,
oh, that's it right there.
Then yeah, my memory of that too was, well, I'm a theater kid originally, so I knew I had to memorize it. You know, that's probably why I didn't miss it. But I remember reading it with my normal voice, and then you guys seeing Barbara Streisand on my resume and asking, can you do it with a New York accent? And that's how Ruby was born. Am I right in remembering it that way?
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
When you did it with, when we heard that, we knew that was the character right there.
So fun.
It's
I
funny,
love that
but
Ren, all of her friends had accents.
Yeah,
Whatever
I
reason.
auditioned my role with a New York accent, and then finally on the very last audition, they I think I was going to lose it because they didn't think I could do it without a New York accent, and then they had me come back in without the New York accent. But up until that point, there was something very New York about the show. I don't know why, but that was the vibe I got.
That's the most Donnie thing you've ever said, Nick.
Really, that was the most Donnie thing I've ever said.
I think so. I think that takes the cake.
We don't hang out well enough anymore.
I can say that Nick is one of the most intelligent and spiritual people that I know.
Oh,
And
yes.
very much.
Yeah.
I don't know if Donnie grew into that, but he's a great guy, and I'm so lucky to have all of you guys still in my life and reachable. We have time for a couple more stories here.
Well, hold on a sec, Chrissy. I know we have 5 minutes, but before we do that, I want to circle back to something we were talking about that I think is a good button for this whole reunion. You know, it's a lot of fans obviously went and saw Honey Boy, and the takeaway from that show was that it wasn't as great a set as I think all of us fondly remember it to be. And you know, I think that it was a special time at Disney. It was a special time for all of us. And I think we, you know, before we turn off, you know, or end this call, maybe you guys can share just, you know, something else about just the show and being on the set. But I want to leave people really with a different impression, because, you know, we all go through difficult times in our lives, and we all experience moments very differently than other people do. But I think that working in show business as long as I had, and I'm sure many of you have worked in show business longer than I, that there was nothing but a great sense of community and family on Even Stevens, and we actually all cared about each other. So for any of our fans watching out there, look, life is challenging. We're going through some really difficult times right now as a nation, but Even Stevens will definitely be one of those places that was a safe place and a home. And if anyone was going through a difficult time, we cared about each other, and we were there for each other. And you just don't find that on many sets. So I don't know if you guys want to share something about that.
Even. What do you think?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. To be real, honestly, yeah, I saw Honey Boy, and it's not so much that everything else was so bad. It's just our set really was such a solitude, and a home for so many people, cast and crew. We all took a huge refuge in coming to work because it wasn't work; it was coming to see our family.
Yeah, I remember the last scenes that we shot. We were shooting in the hallway, and I just remember wrapping each actor, and and handing them their roll of tape, and it was so emotional, and it started getting more and more crowded. And behind the camera was shoulder to shoulder. Everybody was shoulder to shoulder, and I remember yelling cut for the last time, and how emotional it was for everybody, and nobody wanted to leave. It was like about 7 o'clock at night, and it just went on until like midnight. Nobody wanted to leave the set. It was just people were sobbing and crying and just couldn't believe it was over. And so that's anyway.
That's the only show I remember ever being on where everybody was crying and just so sad it was over. Of all the things I've done, and I've been in the business for 30 years, that was the one everybody was just like, oh my God, this was the best. I mean, it was the best experience I've had. I just like, it really was a family, and we all had so much fun together. Like there wasn't a single person on that show that I was like, oh God, I got to see this person today. I mean, literally everyone.
Go ahead, Tom.
I have to apologize.
I know
Yes.
I have worst attitude. I'm just that's just me. But I did love being there, even though I didn't show it a lot of the time. And I did love you guys very much. So I apologize.
Big love to Karen.
I just want to say thank you to Nick and Christy for organizing this, because this truly was my high school experience, and I don't have any other high school reunion to go to, so this is it.
So great.
Good to see you.
Well, you would win the best dressed award. Okay.
Listen, Ruby is somewhere being a fashion editor. She's got her own magazine. She's
There you
living
go.
large in New York. Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to thank, okay, so we're all kind of wrapping up now, and these stories were amazing, and I'm glad that we could, get all these questions out of the way from our fans here. And I want to thank very quickly, at least my part, because I know I've been kind of looking down a lot while we've been doing this, because I've been trying to help moderate with Nick. So Meredith, thank you for making our looks fresh and awesome on a budget. They were hard to make iconic, but yet you did, and so many people are still, they were so vibrant and colorful, and really brought, I mean, fashion. They were so fashion forward that people still talk about our fashions. Patrice,
capri pants, and cut off t-shirts. I mean, that shit's cool, man.
I actually,
It's coming back.
Sorry to interrupt, but I had someone message me on Instagram saying that this was their childhood, and they were so influenced by Shia's wardrobe, Meredith, that they on purpose dressed like him. Like, you created that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Karen and Robin, thank you guys for being basically like my first sorority. You taught me how to do. You taught me how to do my makeup, which I think looks good, right, guys?
Same.
Does it look good?
Looks great.
Beautiful.
Those eyelashes.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
Nick was razzing me about. They're huge. I know.
Guys, I gotta say, I'm dropping out now. I have a previous obligation, so it was lovely seeing you all. Hopefully,
So good to see you.
See you, David.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
See you soon.
David.
Hey guys,
See you.
let's do another reunion soon. That's for darn sure. Before everyone takes off, let's have a real reunion, face to face.
When the
Yes,
bars open
absolutely.
Hey, when my cafe opens up,
Yes.
I don't care
Yes.
if we're in a quarantine or not. You're all
Yes.
coming out. We're gonna party.
Yes, absolutely. There you
Right?
go. Nick.
Patrice,
Yes.
you're the first call.
Oh, okay. I'll be there. I'll be there.
So thank you guys.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
So
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Love you
Love y'all.
guys.
Bye. Great to see you guys.
Bye.
Hey, see you guys at the
Good to
reboot.
see you.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
You guys, Disney Plus, our reboot now, suckers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I want to be the last one. I don't want to see you guys go.
Oh,
I
Nick.
got that blanket.
That's right. I have that one too. All right, everyone.
Bye.
Matt, I'll talk to you soon. Let's go get some cars.
Yeah. You bought that.
Oh shoot, I forgot to. Jennifer, she's hiding in the wings here. I think she's still there. Jen actually helped put this whole thing together. I know it's still recording. Someone mentioned this anyway. She helped educate me on the Zoom thing. I've never done this before. Jen, why don't you put your camera on? Say bye.
I know so little about it, Nick. I don't know how to hang up. That's what I'm saying.
It's okay. You can stay on with me. There she is.
Disappear at once.
Jen
Okay,
has
bye.
been hiding. She's been hiding in the shadows and kind of helping moderate to make sure that everything went smoothly, and forwarding questions to our chat. But without her, this wouldn't have happened. So Jen, thank you for taking the time.
Oh my gosh,
Bye,
you're
babe.
welcome. You guys rocked it. Well done.
Yeah, if you guys need any Zoom assistance in the future, let me know. I'll connect you with her.
Yeah, I feel like, did we answer anybody's question on the thing?
Yeah, we pulled a few from time to time, as much as we could, and answered them.
All right.
There was a lot of questions in there.
Okay, kids. See you later.
All right, love you guys. See you soon.
love you.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.